Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about motivation. This video is about my experiences and how I dealt with it and how I continue to deal with it alongside some problems that I'm still experiencing. And hopefully this video will help some of you out from my experiences or maybe make you feel like you're not alone. The scariest thing about getting out of depression for me was that even though I was able to get rid of all the self-damaging thoughts, I was still left with this unyielding demotivation. And I noticed the basis of it was the idea that I'm comfortable where I am, and I want to keep doing everything to make me comfortable because I still have life problems and struggles that I'm trying to figure, and that took priority over the things that I wanted to do. The thing that I noticed with my demotivation was that after depression, I wanted everything to be easy. I didn't want to fall back into the negative self-thoughts. I just wanted to be safe and secure. It even goes into that I want to feel safe, I want to feel secure feeling, and I'm trying to avoid any negative feelings because I've been depressed for so long. So I ended up just doing things that are easy, and this is still a habit that's really hard for me to break because I was so emotionally drained from depression that I didn't have the strength to deal with a failure, and I was afraid a failure would send me down a spiral into depression again. And this is mainly because I've been depressed for years and it is difficult to recover from. Even though I don't have thoughts that are pushing me down, I'm scared of getting those thoughts back. I'm scared of failing. And that's another thing I noticed with demotivation is that people have insecurities and those can get in the way. Fear of failure or fear of even beginning is a huge contributor to demotivation. So there are many things that can cause demotivation, such as just being out of depression, wanting to feel safe, having insecurities that can get in the way of doing what you want to do, being in a messy environment. When your environment is cluttered, you don't want to do work for the most part. At least that's what's happened in my experience. It just makes me more down and it just makes me want to sit around and just be complacent, not really do anything except things that are easy or things that I'm mildly satisfied with. I'm still struggling with this problem, but I will share with you the things that I do now. And this isn't an end-all, be-all solution. For me, motivation tends to be an ongoing problem. I find that when I'm really inspired to do something, if I don't do it right then and there and leave it till tomorrow because it's too late, or I'm doing something today, or whatever situation that gets in my way, I don't end up doing it the next day. But if I were to start it that day, at that very moment, while I'm very inspired and very motivated to do so, I find myself being able to push myself the next day to do the same thing again. Because I already started it the day before, and I know my motivation habits, so I really push myself to keep going while I have the energy and motivation to do so. I know this is a really simple concept, but it really works for me. And it becomes like a snowball effect. For example, I really love drawing, and when I actually get inspired from other artists, or this idea of a drawing comes to me and I really want to draw it, I push myself to do so right then and there so that I don't lose that motivation, so that I don't lose that inspiration. And then the next day, I have something tangible to look at, to be like, I did this. I did this yesterday. And there's nothing that can stop me from doing this today. So having that tangible piece of something, even writing something on the calendar, can help you the day after you did that activity and hopefully create a snowball effect where you keep doing that activity. Another thing that I really want to talk about here is willpower. A lot of people say, just use your willpower, just do it. But those people haven't experienced demotivation as severely as the type that I'm discussing in this video. I'm not just talking about any run-of-the-mill demotivation that happens to everybody. I'm talking about that after depression, after a very long time of being hard and down and being unable to cope with life situations, to the point where after depression's long gone and treated, you're still left with this feeling of wanting to feel safe and secure. And for me, I don't want to break that. I don't want to start more insecurities or anything like that, so I find myself just staying with things that are safe. But if I stay with things that are safe, I'm never going to grow and get better at the things that I want to get better at. Which brings me to another thing I found that really helps is making a chart or a list of the reasons behind your motivation. And try to get really personal in this chart because it will help you identify the reason why you want to do this activity, which might give you that initial push to start it and hopefully begin that snowball effect that I've discussed earlier. For example, I really want to draw, and my fears of drawing are that I am not good, alongside a fear of failure, a fear of never getting there, and that has to do with confidence. But when I write down and when I really meditate on the idea of why I want to draw, it goes into this deep-rooted need to draw. If I don't draw for long periods of time, I get really depressed. And it's just something that's really connected to me. It's something that's really important to me. It's kind of like a yearning to get these images out of my head. And if I focus on that feeling, it could get me to start. Try to find things that would make you just start any day. And if you do write down the reasons why this is so important to you, make sure you pin it somewhere that you can see so that it can remind yourself of why this is so important to you and hopefully help with demotivation as well. Maybe being in a non-judgmental, safe environment can help you initiate the activity once your motivation runs out, and you can try getting back into the habit again. But as far as I know, one of the biggest things that helps me with demotivation is building a habit and building small little goals each day. For example, for me, it would be making a drawing every day, and it doesn't matter what it is, as long as I'm able to complete this picture, I have to make this drawing before I go to sleep, and that will be my goal for the day. And that's another thing, creating small goals that are open-ended. So after I complete that drawing, which is really quick and really easy to do, maybe I might enjoy it enough to start doing another one. So start with doing very simple, very easy, non-time consuming goals every day. And they might motivate you to do even more because they're so easy to complete that why not just do another one? At least that's the thought process for me when I create very simple, very easy goals to meet every day. Another thing I like to do is keep a calendar. Keeping track of the days that I have done what I want to do is very insightful to me to see how productive I really am being, and can help me keep a perspective of where I am with my goals. And that's just another thing you can do. So that's how I tackle with motivation. If I learn anything else in the future, since this is a problem I'm constantly dealing with and I'm trying to find solutions for, I will definitely keep you updated and do a part 2 of this. I'm sorry that these don't absolutely get rid of the problems of demotivation. Of course, it's important to find out what is causing it specifically, such as negative self-talk or fears, and to help alleviate those fears so that you can start doing what you love. But try these things, and maybe they can help you out, like they're helping me. And don't be discouraged. Demotivation happens to everybody, and unfortunately for us who are depressed or previously depressed, it happens more than regular. It is something that you can overcome. It is something that you can do. And I believe in you. If you're worried, just remember that there are going to be days where you're going to be able to perform that activity. You're going to feel better. You're going to feel up to it. And take advantage of that. Just keep going as much as you can. And if you get demotivated again later, don't feel bad. Realize your achievements during that motivational period. Hopefully it'll inspire you to keep going. But don't ever feel bad about yourself. Just be proud of the times where you can do it. Demotivation is tricky and hard, and you should be proud of your accomplishments. Thank you so much for listening to this video. I hope that it helped, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.